Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Greater Houston Business Procurement Forum. This is our 30th, well, nearly 31 years that we have been hosting the forum that is the Greater Houston Business Procurement Forum. And of course, we started the forum with an idea that we needed a meeting place, a place that people could go, major corporations, governmental agencies, city, county, state, federal, that are looking to do business in the small minority business community, but sometimes having challenges in finding those most capable firms. And at the same time, those most capable minority and small businesses that were looking to do business with major corporations and governmental agencies, institutions. So this forum was put together to have one place where everybody could go together and network and matchmake and do business and have successes. And that's the bottom line, successes. And so with that, each month we've been putting on this breakfast. We've never missed a month, even during the pandemic. The last 2 years, we've continued to do webinars that I think have been very constructive. So this format that we have today is a little bit different. We're saying discovering contracts and business opportunities. And with that, we're looking to today in particular, as part of this series, is to try to identify some minority firms, contractors, suppliers that have performed well, look at some of the successes they've enjoyed, but in enjoying success, there's always challenges, there's threats, but then there's opportunities. So with that, we're going to talk to a few of our contractors. Let's see what they have, what thoughts they have, and what they can bring to take to the table to help other contractors that might have been in the same boat, might still be in the same boat as they are, but trying to grow. We're always trying to grow, even the guys that you're going to hear from today. So with that, I'd like to bring on one of our strategic partners in NAMAC, the National Association of Minority Contractors, that has just done a fabulous job in identifying contractors, getting them to be a part of the organization, bringing leadership and training, professional training, and of course, business opportunities. And so that kind of dovetail a lot into what we do and what we've been doing over the years at the forum. So we're just very pleased to work closely with them. In fact, one of the key members of NAMAC is MCA Communications. MCA Communications is one of the top audiovisual technology firms, I think, in the Houston area and maybe beyond. That's a member of NAMAC, but I've enjoyed a relationship knowing the Cortezes of MCA for I don't know, some years. I won't date any of us, but for a number of years. And so with that, we want to thank MCA for them allowing us to use their studio to actually put this event, put the forum on this past 2 years. I mean, they've allowed us, they've given us great audio, great technology, so that we've been able to put this forum on. But as I speak, I think it's most appropriate and good timing. I just see a great friend and a great strategic partner in Abel Garcia, who's just joining us. And so Abel, it's such a pleasure, my friend, to see you today. And of course, you've been great in identifying some of the contractors that we talked about that we're going to be introducing here in just a bit. Many of them are NAMAC members.
Yes.
And so we're really excited. We're so excited about the work that NAMAC and yourself as an executive director has done. So tell us a little bit about NAMAC, because I know you guys have a couple of good, on the 10th, March 10th, you got a big event coming. And certainly you have your weekly, every other week, you have a lecture series, you have a lessons learned, you have a networking reception. So tell us about some of those things and the great work that you guys have been doing with NAMAC.
Milton, thank you very much, and to the audience, it's always a pleasure to be in the presence of Mr. Construction. You know, we follow Milton's lead. He's dependable. You know, he's always spot on. And here in this beautiful MCA facility where we office, by the way, so we're indebted to MCA in many ways. They're a fantastic partner. But Milton, thank you very much for giving us NAMAC the opportunity to help you out on this particular program. But the NAMAC is having a phenomenal year. 2022 is even better than the one before and the one before that. So we're having a great time.
Yeah.
We now have 3 interns, so I've got some help plus an assistant. But let me tell you a little bit about NAMAC. We're having an after hours tonight, as a matter of fact, at Donaraki. It's free. Anybody wants to come out, come out. We normally have 40 or 50, 60 people. We pass the mic around so that everybody has a chance to talk who they are, what they do. And we start at 5:30 and usually ends at 8:30. I leave at 8:30, okay? So great food, by the way, it's free. And so we have that event. We're having the Houston Business Expo Conference on March the 10th. You can't miss that. First of all, it's free to come to it. However, if you want to buy a booth, you can buy a booth, $600. You get a breakfast, you get the booth, and we'll have a luncheon. I think Dr. Kleinberg, the demographer, is going to be our main speaker. Phenomenal speaker.
Yes, he is.
But we encourage you, please, that's a non-miss event.
Yes.
It's going to be at the Brook Hollow Sheridan on
Okay.
290 and 610 Loop. We had it there 2 years ago. Phenomenal event. Please don't miss it, okay? We invite you. Come see us. We probably will have 350 to 400 or 500 people there at that particular conference. We got 48 booths. If you want to purchase a booth, you get a breakfast, a booth, and a dinner. And you get to hear Dr. Kleinberg, okay?
Yes, outstanding.
All for $600 if you want to spend $600.
Yes.
We have tables for sale also. So we're going to have that big event. It's our biggest event of the year. And it's early enough in the year to where we're going to set up, you know, goals and so forth. I know it's a little bit past January. However, we're going to have 4 breakaway sessions. We're going to have, in the morning, Cadence Bank's going to tell us about how to prepare for 2022 with their banking assistance. We're going to have Action Gypsum. As a matter of fact, he's going to give us a little talk about how it's happening in the supply chain. They're a major supplier of drywall as well as other things, doors and everything that way. We're also going to have our friend DeMars give a presentation on, you know, what is the environment for 2022 in construction. And so he'll be there too. So it's going to be a great event. Okay.
Yes.
Now, right after that event, we're not going to stop. We're going to have a golf tournament on May the 19th, which is a Thursday. Pearland had the biggest golf tournament in the year last year when we were there. We sold 37 holes, and it's an 18-hole. We had a big tent out there, and so we'll also be sending information out on the golf tournament. Listen, if you haven't been to NAMAC, please come. We have like 35 in-person events a year that are business events, okay? Yes, we go to Donaraki. Yes, it's great food. We do have cash bar, adult beverages, but if you haven't been to NAMAC, please come. You'll be, you know, given a jab of enthusiasm, not of the other stuff. So please come to NAMAC. If you're not a member, please join. If you're not a member, we got a lot of free events. With that being said, we've got some great presenters. It's my pride and pleasure to have supplied about 4 of those.
Yes, and I want to thank you. And listen, guys, I want to echo Abel's sentiments. These events coming up, including the one tonight at Donaraki, it's just a great networking. There's usually great people there, people with opportunities, people from the city, from the state, from major corporations and agencies that are looking to do business in the community. So I would strongly recommend that you come this evening from 5:30 to 8:30.
Correct.
At Donaraki. That's the one at Gulfgate, okay, at Gulfgate. Now, Ava, one thing that
Sure.
I wanted you to talk about,
Sure.
because you and I in particular worked on this event, and
Yes.
that was just last week with McCarthy Construction.
Yes. Mhm.
And guys, one of the issues that we ran into with McCarthy was that they have a Methodist hospital, okay, and it's in Cypress, Texas, and so they were going to do a pre-construction conference to let everybody know what's going on the project. And of course, that project is $440 million, okay? And what's kind of unique about it is Methodist doesn't really have, it's a private institution. So it's not like doing business with MD Anderson, that's part of the University of Texas system, or UT Health and folks like that. But McCarthy has internal goals. Methodist Hospital doesn't necessarily have any goals for minority participation. So the internal goal for McCarthy is 15%. And Abel and I got together and we said, look, if you want to be effective, if you want to reach your goal of 15% or more, then why are you opening up a pre-bid conference way out in Cypress, Texas? Why don't you come in the middle of the community? Come to MCA, which is a great facility. So Abel, tell us a little bit about how the event went and from your perspective. And I think it was a nice event, but you tell us more.
Well, thank you, Milton. Listen, we did a lot of preparations, you and I. We had a pre-meeting before they actually said yes. And when they got here, we had two people from Dallas that were coming for the presentation. And they were totally unprepared. But you know what? Because we do things unmatched here, you, me, and MCA. We had the registration down. We had everything, the beverages, everything worked out. So they kept saying, I can't believe this. You know, y'all have done so much for us. And we wanted to make them feel at home. Yes. You know, NAMAC, obviously the procurement breakfast, this is home to construction. We want you to be our neighbors, our fellow, construction folks. So they complimented us from top to bottom. You, NAMAC, and MCA. They were extremely happy. And I think that could be the beginning of something new, something big. Yes. If you're a Turner, or if you're a Vaughn, you should have your event here. Great. You should have your event here at MCA. Yes. Okay, so it was a great event. Okay, Ricky Cortez and Rick Cortez both were here. Yes. As a welcoming committee to their facility. Turnout was probably about 90 people. Which for pre-bid, that's pretty good. Pretty good. And again, parking was fantastic. Yes. Everything worked out very, very well. Thank you for asking. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Abel. It's a pleasure, and when we talk about, we just talked about successes. I think that was a real success. Now, certainly there's a follow-up to that, and it's making sure that we have capable minority firms in the vein of some of the folks, Abel, that you've helped to assemble today, so that those guys can go after the work. So, I mean, again, this is a $440 million contract. So where's our capable firms that might even have some hospital construction experience so that we can get in there and get some of that money, right? So, Abel, with that, I know you got a couple of guys that you brought today from NAMAC. So tell us, I see one guy, he looks like he's all ready to go. So tell us more.
Well, I think that one of the things that we want to make sure that, Milton has a great breakfast, has a lot of great construction firms. If you haven't looked at NAMAC for a solution, please do. Instead of just throwing the net out there, listen, we've got over 300 members now in NAMAC. We've got, certified plumbers, certified electricians, great drywall people, great infrastructure. We've got some of our board members that are great contractors. We'll have one today, our chair, Ruben Mercado, the former chair, concrete and so forth. But why don't we let them to the story? Because I'm very proud of our NAMAC board, our NAMAC members, and we can start out. Let's see who's the first one.
Okay, I think I see Mr. Juarez.
Mr. Juarez.
Good morning. Good morning, y'all. Good morning.
Great contractor.
Absolutely. Mr. Juarez, thank you so much for joining us today here at the forum and being here with Abel and myself. Thank you so much. And one of the things, Abel, that I really like about Action Gypsum is because most of our guys are construction guys. They're hard construction. But in talking to Mr. Juarez and looking at some of the things he does, a lot of it is material supply. I mean, like you and I spoke, and we spoke drywall and other things. So, Lennon, if you would tell us a little bit about Action Gypsum. Tell us a little bit about some of the things you do. What do you do? Some of your suppliers, and I know you got all the certifications. So I think we already talked about that. But just tell us about who is that? What is Action Gypsum?
Yes, sir. Thank you again for the invitation. I'm happy to be here to talk to the crowd. My name is Lennon Juarez. I'm president at Action Gypsum Supply. A little bit about the history of the company. My father and his partner, Terry King, broke off from a former distribution yard, a very successful distribution yard in 2003. We started with one store, 15,000 square feet, and a couple of trucks. And, you know, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy the first couple of years, but we grinded through, and now we're happy to say that April 1st of this year will be our 21st location opening up in Sacramento. That'll be 6 in California, 1 in Las Vegas, 1 in Phoenix, 1 in Denver, and the rest of them are here in Texas. So rapid growth, and we will continue to try to expand in certain markets and get a solid footprint of where we want to be. Okay, so and a little bit of what we do. We supply everything basically for the interior build out of commercial, residential, multifamily projects. So drywall, metal studs, ceilings, insulation, muds, tapes, everything for the interior build out. You will find it here at our location. You know, we also have walk-in business. If you're coming off the street and need 2 pieces and a piece of track, 2 pieces of drywall and a piece of track, you can come in and buy it. Not a problem at all. And if you need it delivered, you need it on the 50th story, we've done it. We've done it all. So everything from the smallest to the biggest buildings around town, we can supply.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Lyndon, where are you located at physically? Where's here in Houston? Your big.
Yes, we have 2 locations here in Houston. Right here, the main corporate office is 290 in the Beltway, and then the other office is basically Beltway 8 and Genoa Red Bluff on the south side of town.
Wow. You know, Lennon, this is impressive. I mean, from where you started to where you are now, and I know that. I mean, it's not easy. Okay.
No.
So maybe if you could, you know, as I see you grow, I mean, you're growing in other parts of the country. Even, you've got to have some financial wherewithal. You've got to have good trade credit. You know, you've got to have a bank. When you're talking about material supplies for some of these major projects, hopefully we can get you doing business with McCarthy on that Methodist Hospital, right? So yes. A $440 million project and all the interior build out materials that we're going to need, you know, for a hospital like that. So yep. Tell us what challenges you've had over the years, but how you've overcome some of those challenges to be successful.
Yes, sir. It's funny. I'll tell you a funny story. Back when Dad was looking to break off on his own, he went to several banks and asking for, you know, a $250,000 line, and got shut down by a lot of them. You know, 4, 5, 6 banks that turned him down. One gentleman at his Bible study class was a banker, and he told him he was having problems getting a loan, and he goes, well, let me look at it. So he he let him look at his business plan, and he goes, I'll do it. And he took it from there and got us off and running. And now with our current bank, Truist, what was formerly BBT, we have a $120 million credit line.
Wow, outstanding. Outstanding. And I'm sure you certain insurance, is there certain insurance limits that you need to have in on the supply side?
Yes, we have the maximum insurance that we need to have for a distribution yard. That's not a problem. We can show anybody that certificate. You know, we take safety very, very critical. I mean, it can break you quicker than anything else.
Yes.
Safety can bring you down. So we put a lot of emphasis in our safety program, and you know, it's not always the most glamoring part of the job, but it is a serious part of the job, and we take it seriously.
Outstanding. Hey, Lennon, in concluding, maybe can you tell us a little bit about maybe some staple success stories that you've had that you feel comfortable in sharing, that you want folks to know, listen, we can perform, we've done it, and here's some examples.
Oh, yeah. There are several multifamily buildings that we've done, not only wood, but load-bearing metal projects. The big building in the Woodlands, we did that one. I think it was Anadarko at the time. I don't know if it still is, but it's the big black glass building as you're heading out north in the Woodlands. We did that with Baker Drywall many years ago. And in every market that we're in, and I know this probably just pertains to the Houston area, but in every market that we're in, we try to service the customer. We can't control the product. Everybody's selling the same thing, and we can't control the price. It's all sold for about the same amount of money. But what we can control is our service. Yes, the only thing we can control is our service. So we put a big emphasis, everything from the order taken to the invoicing of those orders, to make sure that it's streamlined. It's streamlined and easy for our customers to do business with us.
That's outstanding, man. If we've got any GCs listening, hey guys, don't miss this guy. There's real opportunities.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you give us a phone number, Lennon, contact information?
Sure. My number, 281-802-8632. And I'll give you the office here, main number, 713-896-4002.
We got it. Hey, Lennon, keep up the great work. Abel, any other?
Lennon, I want to thank you for being a proud NAMAC member. They're on their second year, and these are the kind of members we have, as well as other members. So thank you very much, Lennon. Outstanding job. Thank you for all you do for us.
Thank you, Lennon,
for the invitation. Thank you both, and we look forward to. Hey, just reach out. We'll take care of whoever calls. We'll take care of them.
Outstanding. Thank you.
You have a wonderful day. Thank you.
All right. All right. So, man, what a great opportunity for us to have somebody that brings the material supply side. I think what we're going to hear from now is individual contractors that are both in residential and commercial, and but very excited about the work that Lennon does, of course, at Action Gypsum. So with that, Abel, I think we got another guy, and that's Johnny.
I'm going to give up my chair for a phenomenal NAMAC member, very successful. So I'm going to leave, and I'm going to let Johnny come in, Johnny Hollins.
Okay.
JC Hollins. So your introduction.
Outstanding. And I see him right here.
Yes, sir.
I recognize this guy. Johnny, how are you, man?
I'm great.
It's so good to see you, man, today. And
Thank you.
Every time and I'm not gonna pin you into any area, of course, but every time I see you, one thing that always comes to mind is that one of your specializations is in masonry. Yeah. And we struggle to find capable firms, minority firms in particular, with masonry experience. Right. I had a couple of good guys a few years ago. They kind of petered out a little bit. Right. And of course, we've got a lot of work coming down the pipe. And I know you've done commercial and residential.
That's correct.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the kind of work you've done? But let's also kind of talk, because we want contractors to know there's going to be some opportunities. Certainly, as a minority contractor, there's opportunities.
There's a lot of opportunities.
But then there's also challenges.
Yes.
So maybe talk a little bit about the opportunities versus the challenges, and then we'll get into a little bit about maybe some of the things that you've done to sort of overcome those challenges, and of course some of the successes. So let's first talk about JC Hollins.
All right. Yeah, so JG Hollins is a residential and commercial builder developer. We are licensed with the city of Houston to do affordable housing through the Houston Land Bank. We just finished building in Acres Homes for the Land Bank and also in Independence Heights. But our main focus is affordable housing for the community, for areas such as Fifth Ward, Acres Homes, Sunnyside area. We're currently building 50 homes out in Acres Homes over off of James Franklin. But we also do commercial. So we do a lot of private work for a lot of the local private universities here. We're licensed to do build outs and buildings for the military. We just finished a build out for the Army, Navy, Marines right off of Yale and Tidwell. We have all of our certifications here in the city of Houston with Metro, the Port of Houston, also with, what is that? TxDOT. So we haven't actually used those because we do mainly private work, but always looking for opportunities. So our biggest challenges would be employees and materials today. So some of the ways that we overcome the challenges of employees is actually going out and partnering with companies like HBI, Houston Builders Institute, which is a nonprofit out of DC. And we opened a trade school with HBI and also with the city of Houston to provide training, technical training for students in the area and in the community. So with that, we're able to also find talent to bring in. So I think, as you were saying about masonry and bricklayers, that is a hard field to find crafted, talented workers. So that's something that we actually look for in our company. We've been able to have a great group of guys that's been with us 15, 16 years, and that are skilled in their craft. So really it's about training, getting out there and educating the youth and trying to get them involved in construction. So that's how we've been able to overcome some of the challenges of employment. I tell people it's almost like in college, you got the NCAA and then you have the SWAC. The NCAA is going to get the better talent. It's what it is. So the SWAC ends up with what's left over. So being a minority business, that's the challenge we have. So we end up with what's left over. And so we have to build from there.
How do you groom that talent, right?
Yeah, so that is a process which takes time. You may get a worker that has some challenges, personal challenges. So, we have to be a little more understanding with that and spend a little more time on the training side to get them to operate in the spirit of excellence.
Outstanding. And you mentioned Acres Home and the community work, and I was just talking to Karen Franklin. You know Karen.
Yes.
Yeah. So a great, and I think I saw her wave her hand. I think she's on.
Okay.
She's looking at this.
Okay.
So of course Karen Franklin, Section 3, City of Houston Housing and Community Development.
Certified Section 3 also.
Yeah. And so I was thinking about a major project that she has with Block.
Okay.
Coming on, they're right there off of Allen Parkway.
Yes.
And so maybe we should certainly, and I've seen Block at a couple of the NAMAC meetings.
Yeah.
And certainly Karen speaks all the time.
Yeah.
So there's opportunities abound.
Okay.
Whether it's with Karen Franklin direct for J.C. Hollins, whether it's with Block or other contractors that are doing work for the city in housing and community development, because the city has all those apartment complexes and all that. The other thing that I'm particularly impressed about is the work that you're doing in the community, the work that you're doing at Acres Home.
Right.
And so tell us a little bit more about some of the organizations, including Acres Home, that you've been working with and some of the things you've been doing with them.
Yes, so I also sit on the board of directors for the Acre Homes Chamber of Business and Economic Development.
Yes.
And Warren Muhammad is the president of the board there.
Yeah.
So working in that community, getting the word out about affordable housing. And not only that, we're going to hold a workshop March 26th for the community, for the employers of the community, and also for the potential applicants who are looking for employment. So we're going to have a job fair March 26th. And then that'll be followed up every quarter. We'll be doing something business related, from actually showing an entrepreneur how to become bankable, teaching them financial literacy as it relates to their company. Because a lot of business owners, it's one of the challenges that most business owners have. They don't know how to go into a bank and get funding. They don't know how to ask. They don't have the paperwork together. You have to show income. A lot of business owners, don't want to show income. They want to write everything off. But in order to grow your business, you can't do that. You're going to have to show some income. You got to pay some taxes. And so that's one of the things that we're going to be looking to do here going forward, and bringing different banks in, partnering with different banks in the community. Cadence Bank, Chase Bank.
Yes.
Those are all partners with Acres Homes.
Outstanding, man. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
I want you to do this for us. We want to make sure that we get the word out of the great work that you're doing in the community. So as the event that you have coming up in a month or so.
Yes, March 26th.
Please get the word out to us. We have a breakfast forum, guys. I didn't mention this. I usually wait till late, but since John is here. So our next breakfast forum is March 22nd.
Okay.
And if it's not too late to register, it's going to be at the Ion, the new hub of the innovative, the old Sears, So I'd love to have you come in there and talk a little bit about what you're doing on the 26th.
Okay.
And let's get the word out, man. And
awesome.
then we'll probably, with your help, maybe even have some of those banks there. Cadence Bank you mentioned, and JP Morgan Chase.
Yes. Okay.
So let's get them out and let's make business happen for other folks as well. I like that approach, man. I appreciate you. Well, hey, man, thank you so much. We're behind you. We're behind you. There's a lot of opportunities, as you know. We just have to get busy.
Yeah, and you keep up the great work.
Thank you.
You do an outstanding job in the community.
And
you help so many people.
Yeah, well, we got a lot more to do.
Yes.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hey, man, appreciate you.
All right, have a good one.
All righty. And that's outstanding. I mean, here's a guy that's doing community work. He's just doing a little bit of everything. And I see another gentleman that just joined me, and he's always ready to go. One thing I like about this guy, Roger Pombro, and of course Roger is, the president of Emerald Stanley Electrical Consulting Engineers, but as well. He's also the president. I mean, you've heard from the executive director, right?
The chairman.
Yeah, but then we've got the president, of DAVAC and Roger Pombro. And Roger, before we even get into all of the work, the work that you do at Emerald Standard, I want to thank you for, I don't know, what is it, 45? How many straight lunch and learns have you done?
We went 50. We went 50
already?
Yes, 50 lunch and learns.
Behind.
So 4 years and change.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes back to the end of 2017, I think, if my math serves me correct. I mean, I remember I believe it was at Scan together, one of the very first ones that we did. But yeah, once I joined NAMEC, and thank you, Milton, for having me today here. It's always a pleasure. Like I said, I love, Milton's breakfast, one of those that I always mark the calendar and never miss. But so lunch and learns, I mean, education is something that's a passion of mine. Contractor development, I do believe that, for one, us small minority-owned, companies, for me, of course, I'm a contractor, so construction is in my heart. But in entrepreneurship, I do believe that one of the ways that we can rise and that we can improve our society overall is through entrepreneurship, through wealth creation, intra-generational wealth creation. So building our businesses. And like I said, we just turned 20 years this past December, our company, Emerald Standard, here in Houston. And one of the things as I look back is this Houston. I mean, one of the reasons I set up in Houston is because there's so much work, right? Everybody always says that, and that in 20 years has never stopped. Because actually, one of the things that I realized, after I turned 20, is that was right after the Enron debacle. I was like, it was in the news. So I was like, looking at my 20th anniversary Enron debacle. Even after that, I started my business. I came in because, of course, I had, had previous engagements here in Houston. I had lived and worked in Houston in the past through the oil and gas, business. And so all the work is there, right? In Houston, but how do we get our piece of the pie? So we got to be ready. How can we get ready through, prepare ourselves? How do we do that through education programs? And there's many institutions here in Houston that support contractors. So one of the reasons when I joined NAMAC, I joined NAMAC as a member back in 2008. But when I say I joined the board or got dragged onto the board and all that pretty quickly, it's like, oh, we got an education committee, right? And everybody looked at me. I'm like, sure, why not? It's not that I didn't know about it, been to college and all that, been through some programs. And I said, sure, why not? So one of the low-hanging fruit right away was the lunch and learn. So I'm like, well, we can meet every month, bring somebody. Everybody has lunch, especially us contractors are very busy. So for us, lunchtime, it's a pretty good time. I look at our roster of members, and we have so many great members of all walks of life, accountants, lawyers, insurance, bonding people. And I'm like, I just started, working the phone, say, hey, you want 1%? Of course. One thing led to the other. Yeah, we got 50 in a row. So absolutely very, very happy about that. But we haven't stopped there. Of course, we partnered with the University of Houston, the hub department, Dr. Lennon Juarez. She was she has been an amazing partner to NAMAC. Okay. And of course, to your breakfast, and, she's such a presence. So we did partner with them a couple of years ago in the middle of the pandemic. And we started doing the fundamentals of construction management through the, University of Houston NAMAC, construction management talent pipeline program. Because once again, U of H, she came to the hub department, a lot of work. And she's like, where's the pilot? Where are the contractors? And not only, she's like, okay, and, there's some second tier, first tier, second tier subcontractors, but she wanted to, give out more prime contracts to minority and woman-owned businesses, hub businesses, and certified with the state of Texas. So we're like, what can we do? Okay. Now, of course, this is the University of Houston. You have an immense first-class faculty. So we went to the School of Construction Management, spoke to Dr. Ling Guan Song. And so, of course, who do you want?
Yeah.
He had plenty of professors. And so the most amazing things is many of the professionals, the people that teach at the College of Construction Management, College of Technology, are, seasoned executives from major corporate partners of me, Manhattan Construction, Tellefson, DPR, Austin Commercial. So they're already, associate professors at their faculty. They were 20, 30, 40, 50-year construction executives. They work for major corporate partners of NAMAC. The thing, it was just, you say it's easy. It was all in front of us. It still takes hard work.
Yes.
You got a lot of meetings, a lot of coordination, but it took off. And, so we had more than 40 NAMAC members for the last couple of years benefit from that.
Beautiful.
Fundamentals of construction management, for example. So,
Well, and guys, let me just say, you can see all the energy and the enthusiasm that Roger brings to the table for NAMAC. And that's just a passionate contractor that wants to make a difference in the construction community from the minority business side, but also from the majority business, because everybody's working together to make business happen and to be successful all around. Now, one of the things, Roger, and you and I have gone to we've gone out and talked to a lot of contractors, and that we presented, and Roger actually, guys, is our minority business construction firm of the year for 2016. Now I say 2016, you say, man, that's 5-6 years ago, but honestly, that could probably be the case each and every year. But we can't do it all every year.
Somebody else got to win it, right?
But what else does he do? He gets awards for mentorship, which only makes sense, right? But Roger, well, and let me say something else, because I always get excited when I talk to Roger. So one of the major projects that we have going in this town right now is TMC3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Texas Medical Center 3. That's a $5.2 billion expansion of the medical center. It's a collaborative effort, guys, between the medical center itself, UT Health, University of Texas Health, MD Anderson Cancer Center, and Texas A&M Health Science Center. So each one of those entities has a building, if you will, a research facility. We got the convention center, hotel, park shops, and a whole, it is an amazing facility that we're building in the medical center. And one of the things that I was most impressed with, I know Vaughn Construction is a general contractor, but we push Vaughn, Roger, of course, but Roger, you were one of the first contractors to get on the ground at TMC3. a minority firm,
Yeah.
a hub firm, historically underutilized business,
Yeah.
because a lot of these institutions are, you know, UT and A&M and Anderson are state agencies and institutions, of course. So tell us how you were able to get there. But what have you done to stay there? I know you're still working out there.
Absolutely.
So what are the challenges? I know you've encountered some challenges.
Yeah.
There's always threats. But tell us about how you've been able to overcome and stay and continue to do work and establish a relationship with Bond.
Yeah, absolutely. Be persistent. I mean, anything about be very persistent. Okay. And I remember, I think it was one of those pre-bids, and that goes back to pre-pandemic 2020. And you were one of those meetings, you know, with what, and I recall because I see you when especially when these pre-bid meetings would be in person. They're coming back to be in person, but Vaughn is our company. I mean, we work for, like I said, we build efficient and resilient, you know, electrical infrastructure for Texas premier institutions. Okay, so our customer base right off the bat is, like you were saying, MD Anderson, UT Health, Texas A&M, you know, their health system, UTMB, you know, all the UT system, right? You know, across the board, all the healthcare, the educational side, University of Houston, of course, Houston Community College,
The
airport system, of course. You know, we basically, I think I've almost checked all the departments of the city already, you know, whether it's GSD, the health department, the Houston airport system. Absolutely, it's another customer. So typically, yeah, we will work for also as an electrical contractor. You know, our natural direct customer would be the prime contractors that serve these premier institutions. So of course, Vaughn Construction and health and higher education. I mean, that is what they focus on. And so through the years, I've marketed to them. And I will say, you know, I hadn't been very successful landing contracts. I had gotten to work small jobs, even at UTSA. It was interesting. One of the first jobs I got with Vaughn was actually out in San Antonio, you know, just random reasons. You know, hard to explain. But, you know, I just kept going back. Whenever they had something come up, I would show up, I would look at it, I would price it, I would do their technical proposal. You know, that's all about being persistent. Yes, Vaughn, you know, they just don't take a number. It's like, oh, you know, like, oh, here's my number, so many million, and I'll do the electrical underground for you. They want a technical proposal. So it takes time and effort to put those together. You got to have a process for it. You got to be prepared. So again, I talked about the University of Houston Fundamental Construction Manager. You know, this part of the class, how do you answer a proposal? Not only doing your estimate, you know, our tradespeople, they know their business. You know, our carpenters know carpentry, or plumbers know plumbing, but how do you take that knowledge and you really put it in a proposal on a piece of paper or in a set of documents that shows them that you know exactly that you're the contractor they need. They want on this project. So it's about being, you know, especially when you're small, minority owned, all that, you got to go above and beyond, you know, to make it look extremely solid. So yeah, absolutely. Several $1 million worth of underground electrical, and we're still going. I mean, it's a giant site. So we've been fortunate to partner, you know, be the trade partner for Vaughn, doing all the electrical and telecom underground. A whole lot of conduit, a lot of digging, excavating. You know, safety #1 is very important. And like I said, it's a high visibility project. So quality is also, you know, extremely important. But that's the choice that we made at Emerald. I mean, 20 years ago when we started. I mean, there's a market, there's the quick and cheap. You know, there's some people that just want something built quickly, cheaply, and move on. And there's a market, you know, certain institutions that they want top quality work. They want their electrical infrastructure to be resilient, to not, you know, you know, we've seen that hurricanes, you know, snowstorms, whatever it's, you know, it's going to be coming down our way in Texas. Texas is a very prosperous state, but a lot of these institutions, they want the lights to stay on. They want generators to kick when they got to kick and all that. So our focus is always on that. I mean, on serving that type of customer, and been very successful at it.
You know, Roger, I want to, first of all, I want to thank you because you have helped to set the standard for excellence when it comes to a minority contractor doing work. A model for other minority firms to follow. And I know that not only have you mentored, I mean, you've brought other firms on, other minority firms where you saw, where you've developed a relationship, which is what we needed, was somebody to get in there and say, we can do it. And they come to you and they say, well, Roger, do you have any other NAMAC members or other minority firms that can do this, that, and the other? And I've seen you step up to the plate and continue to develop relationships and help other people get in the door. So you are a trailblazer, and we thank you so much for everything you do. And listen, I think I'll see you tonight. I'm going to be,
Absolutely.
guys, tell us that, Abel already mentioned it, but you may want to echo about this network.
Yeah, and going, absolutely. We have our networking that now we moved to Tuesdays at Donor Rockies. We used to have Thursday, but everybody wants to do stuff on Thursday, get ready for the weekend. So now, we're taking on Tuesdays, right? So come this evening. Like you were saying, NAMEC is about getting to know each other. And construction it's a relationship business, okay? And working for these premier institutions, it's a relationship. So for me to recommend somebody, I absolutely recommend people all the time. But I don't recommend somebody just give me a business card, okay? I recommend people that I see on these networkings month in and month out, okay? They come to me, talk to me, and we had casual conversations. Oh, I did this. Oh, I ran into a problem with that. That's how we get to know each other. And then that gives me the basis that when Yvonne comes to me or some other larger contractor comes to me and they want to talk to somebody, I can confidently refer this other NAMEC member. So number one, come to our networking. Number two, join NAMEC. And number three, get involved, participate. I talk about your breakfast, I'm always involved. I'm always show up. And if I don't, then I send somebody. It's like last Tuesday, I was trying to, juggling. I had to be 2-3 places at the same time. I'm like, I picked up Juan, So sometimes I think, well, maybe he brings me luck because he went to that pre-bid too for that TMC3 job. And I'm like, well, maybe, this McCarthy thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, be out there, involve your team, be prepared, work on process and operations, and, absolutely join him and come to Milton's breakfast or watch him online.
Yeah.
Because the wealth of information is there.
Outstanding, man.
Right.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
deal.
you so much. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I'll see you later on this evening.
There's no stopping. Absolutely. I just love it. I have
Thank
too
you
much
so
fun.
Love
Too
it,
much
man.
fun.
Love it, man.
And I got
Keep up the great
You too,
work.
Milton.
Great work.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Outstanding. You know what? We forgot to mention. We forgot to ask him for his phone number. So I think, let's see. Don't I remember it? It's was it Roger 713-376-1740?
Oh, yeah, that's my cell phone, but 713-473-1000, 473-1000. That's my phone number. You can reach me, at the office.
At any time. At any time, guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Roger.
Mhm.
All right, man. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot going on. Finally, we have another contract, another NAMEC member, in Greg Williams. And of course, Greg is the president of Honesty. Greg, thank you. Thank you so much for being here, man. One thing about Greg is everywhere I go and then some, he's there. And when I'm not there, he's there. And that's what it takes. It just kind of like what Roger was just saying, showing up and be ready to go to work. And Greg, I know that's what you bring to the table. I've always seen that in you. And we thank you so much for being here and all the great work, mentoring and everything else you do. But, as we talk to a couple of the other guys, tell us a little bit about, first of all, what is Honesty Construction Group? What do you do? And of course, over time, what are some of the challenges you faced? I mean, I know we talked about financing, we talked about bonding, we talked about safety, your EMR, right? Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about the challenges, but then how you've been able to overcome those challenges. Certainly with grit, I know, but with setting up key relationships as well.
Sure. Well, Honesty Construction Group, we started in 2008. We're a general contractor here in Houston, concentrating with government contracts as well as select residential. We do interior and exterior finishes, ADA upgrades, demolition, roofing. We've got our own equipment, and I can say those things now because, I've learned that you really aren't that company if you don't have your own equipment. All right, your own employees and not 1099, all these things. I'm gonna fast forward or rewind a little bit. I'll tell you this directly. Our business just took a dramatic increase of trajectory when I went from the first point of your breakfast until this one today. It's about getting out there and meeting folks that have already done it, right? That are hiring those that are doing it now and learning from them. Nothing that I'm doing hasn't been done before, right? I've got a passion for it. I have a passion for serving. Most of our multi-year government contracts are in that industry of serving, right? Health and safety upgrades for homes 65 and over. And I'm proud of that. You know, that's what we had always wanted to do, and to be able to do it at this level is a great feeling. Some of the challenges were the unknown, right? When I went to your first breakfast, I think all we had was a hub certification. And I thought, since that was so difficult to finally figure the paperwork, oh, this must be good for everything.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, well, there's another, and there's another, there's
Yeah.
another.
Yes.
You pointed me to Miss Jeanette Boulware's table
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
Fort Bend
Yes.
ISP, and
Yeah.
she set me on the right path to get with Metro to get your SBA. Then check with these folks with this next one. A whole list of things. 3 months. I'm up 3 o'clock in the morning at least.
Yeah.
But now we have all these certifications, and it was just letting the road get set, if you will, so that now we can come along and do what we're doing and help. And it's just a blessing to be able to. I'm happy with it.
Outstanding. You know, and I actually, so when we had the event, we were talking earlier about McCarthy.
Mhm.
And so you were one of the first people, when I looked up, I said, well, there's Greg. I know Greg's gonna be here.
Yeah.
And, you know, with that, tell me something, Greg. So you operate as a general contractor, I know for the most part.
Yeah.
But in a project like that, where we're wanting to build a relationship with the McCarthy, and McCarthy is man, they're a tough cookie. I mean, they're doing business, of course, you know, this new Methodist hospital that they're looking for firms with. But I mean, they've done work at the Northeast Water Purification Plant.
Sure.
They're doing work at Port Houston. I mean, they just finished the Museum of Fine Arts, that new add-on, the Glass Cell Art School. I mean, they've done a lot of work. So they're a huge GC and very prominent in Houston. So what are some of the things, I know from an interior or exterior, kinds of individual trades would you offer McCarthy?
Sure. Well, I'll say this, and to your point, when you're bidding with a larger GC like this, and I'm operating as a GC, there's no way I can be competitive and do everything for them, right?
Right.
So you pick out your best trades. What can I, as a company, be the best at? I'm not going to tell a GC to not take a job because it's not in their core,
Yeah.
right? Especially starting off, you know, you take what you can get for the most part. Right? That's how you're figuring out what you can do. But with a McCarthy, somewhere like that, for us, for instance, we're going to concentrate on possibly framing and drywall, interior finishes. Those are some of our stronger suits. All my guys in the field can read those plans, right? They don't have to be coached on that. That's where you want to lower your exposure. Don't take off too much of a bite, you know, to begin with. And to speak of McCarthy, I just got a phone call from them right before we walked in to remind me to go to they have this contractor seminar and class, and so I'm a part of that. There's a class tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just reminding us about it. They were here in the same building last week.
Yeah.
So that's another one of these firms, McCarthy, Manhattan, these folks that you're bringing to the table.
Yeah.
And they're putting their money where their mouth is, as we say, you know.
Oh, you know what? And it's funny you should say that. I was just thinking, I know McCarthy has that program. Turner Construction has. The city combined with Metro and the port has a mentor protege. What do you, I mean, how has those programs been essential for you at getting in some of those programs?
Well, one that I did attend was the Goldman Sachs Small Business Program.
Yes.
It has been phenomenal. The reason I have time, I know that I have time to sit here and do this now, is because I got into working on my business, right? Not just in my business with hammer and nail and a nail apron and paintbrush in one pocket, and you know, yeah, you can trim some fat that way, but you'll get one plate, right? Now I can sit here and we've got several jobs going. I'm taking care of business things, right? And opportunities and conversations in the hallway that we can have and harness my craft, get really good at what we do, right? If I'm the head of the ship, as they say, right? I've got to know a little bit about everything, but enough to direct us on the right course. And that's the point of these classes. You know, JD Dunn, I think, has one. And there's some other ones that
do.
attend these things. You know, I went to one with Vaughn Construction not too long ago. I think it was Cynthia Booker facilitated that maybe a year and a half or so ago. There's several different classes.
So from a relationship standpoint, it kind of helps to build, they get to know who you are and what your capabilities are.
They work with who they know, right?
That's right.
And though everyone's welcome to bid and, you know, on proposals like that, it's not a favor. It is just the point that they work with who they know, right? So not every project is up for bid. There's private projects. You think these guys don't just have facility work or city work or government work, right? Their jobs and clients that hire them all the time. they're gonna put, like I would put my best guys on it. They're gonna put their best guys on it, and you say, well, I've never done a job that size. I've never done a large commercial job. One of our first commercial jobs was just taking a door out of a entryway and moving it to another one. That went from I don't know, $1,800 project to about $60,000 worth of work, commercial work we did for this coatings company a few summers ago. And they would go, well, can you do this? Well, can you do that? Well, can you do this? And so now I've got past performance. So now we can use that. And so now we get the United Terminal project, through SECA, through HP. And so there's some airport experience we've gotten there. So that's on our belt. It's little steps that you can take along the way, but it's the relationships. And that commercial company I'm talking about, just last week, we did another project for them. So these things will keep feeding you, and really it's feeding your resume. Now you can show them, and as a minority, it's a little difficult for us to get a foot in the door sometimes. Well, these are some different ways that you can show that you have the skill set and proof that you have the skill set. Now you got recommendations from larger commercial companies, and if they're going to vet for you, then they're running out of excuses at that point, right?
Yes, absolutely. You beat me to the punch. I was getting ready to ask you to go back over some of the challenges, but I think it couldn't have been covered any better. And some of your successes and how you overcame those challenges to be successful. And I want to thank you. I mean, you shared some key points to people. I mean, and this is, guys, what we're trying to do with Greg and the guys is talk about some real-time experiences, real-time opportunities, challenges, threats, if you will, but in the end, successes, because in the end, that's what it's about, is being successful. And I think you're bringing that to the table. You're always where we need to be. We can't ask for any more. And also, from a NAMAC perspective, I think, aren't you on the board?
Yes, I'm a board member.
Board
member, NAMAC, very proud. It's an excellent organization.
Yeah.
They stick their arms out wherever they can. They're gonna help you, stick their hands out this way, this way. It's a family, again, directly, I met them through you. You asked me to come to my very first NAMAC meeting. I joined right after that meeting, and fast forward maybe to the end of that year or so, and I'm on the board. And I can't thank you enough.
Well, so that means I'll see you, because I plan on being there this evening at Down Rocket.
Oh, yeah.
So that means I'll see you, I guess, this evening.
I'll actually be at T-ball practice. I'm coaching the Yankees of East End Little League.
I've been there.
But outside of that, yes, y'all, everyone, please come to the event this evening. You're going to meet a lot of folks there. You're going to make some contacts. And again, at the McCarthy Gym last week, 2 really good potential projects for us to work on came from just being in the place. And hey, I remember you from this. Hey, do you do that? Yeah, I do. We still do, show up.
Yeah, show up. I mean, it couldn't have been said, and show up and be ready to work. Huh, Greg?
That's right.
Excellent. Hey, man, thank you.
Thank
you so much for everything you do in the community and the help and support you give everybody else, and the success you're beginning to enjoy more and more.
Yeah,
All right, we're counting on you.
Appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right.
Thank you. All right, outstanding. Guys, that ends that part of our forum. We got more folks. We got banks and other folks. So we're going to resume this in April. Again, our March forum is going to be at the Ion, which is again our new technology, the hub building of our new technology and innovation corridor. If you remember, that's the old Sears building. It's at 4201 Main at Wheeler. So it's just going to be another outstanding event, because it's going to be doing business with the state of Texas. And you heard most of the guys talking about, Roger, for instance, and University of Texas and A&M, and so all of MD Anderson. So all those folks will be there looking to do business with hub firms. I mean, we got a big push in that area, and we got major projects on that. So we thank everybody. I'm going to bring Abel back in just a minute here. But as I get ready to bring Abel back, I just want to take a minute and to first thank all of you. I think you can see it on the screen. This was last night, actually, guys. And if you didn't attend, boy, that was just an outstanding entrepreneur. It was part of Black History Month at the Ion, as we talk about the Ion. That's where it was located, this event last night. It was just outstanding for entrepreneurs, community entrepreneurs, education seminars and all. I thought it was just great. I was there. But more importantly, they had a bunch of restaurants. After the event was, all the education side, then we had a lot of all minority restaurants, sort of a restaurant row, if you will, giving their wares, some of their best food. So they were kind of competing in a way. And I just thought that was just outstanding. So hats off to the folks at the Ion, the teams out there that put that event on. I thought it was outstanding. And we've been working with them closely. Next. So you see here, and this is just kind of a rundown, guys, of some of the projects that we've encountered, some of the projects, and they're coming up pretty quick. So we wanted to get them out on the newsletter and kind of quickly go over them. And of course, Manhattan Construction is one of our top GCs in the Houston area, in Texas, maybe in the United States. For all the work that they've done. I mean, when it comes to stadiums, the Metro Transit Center at the Pierce Elevator, they built that. They built the University of Houston's football stadium. They built NRG. They built the Cowboys Stadium. Our soccer stadium. And on and on. But this is a project that they have. They've done quite a bit of work at Texas A&M. I think they did the work at the rec center at Texas A&M College Station. So this is another project that they have. Please keep up with this one. This is a signage project, and I know we've got several signage companies that I've had a chance to meet that are hub firms, because this is A&M, so we're looking for hub firms, certainly. The bids are due on March 3rd, 3 p.m. CST, Central Standard Time. And just yesterday, I had a chance to talk to Andrew Halpin. So Andrew was working on this center when we built it. So he's a great guy to talk to. You see his phone number and his email. But Andrew has a number of projects, but they've been doing a lot of work at A&M, and we're certainly looking for hub participation in College Station. Next slide. McCarthy, you just heard all of us talk about McCarthy, and McCarthy, we were able to get McCarthy to host their pre-construction conference on Houston Methodist Cypress Hospital. Very, very pleased that they did that here. They're really looking hard to bring on minority participation on this project. A couple of the guys you see here, Preston Cope, Walker McDonough, Mike Carpenter, were here at the event, along with Kimberly Williams, Adrian Williams. They were all here as a team to talk about this event. And again, McCarthy says 15% minority participation is our minimum goal, whether it's public or private sector work. So we've got successes, they've got successes on, if it's a success for them, it's a success for the minority business community. So we're just very proud of the work that McCarthy is doing. And look at the pre-qual. That's a click button for the pre-qual enrollment. And we also have we'll get that to you, but there's the meeting that they hosted last week. We've got a sort of a slide, if you will, of all that material. We'll get that out to you as well. Next. Turner again is one of our biggest GCs, a number of projects that they've done in the Houston area. So many. I always think about Texas Southern University. I went to school and I graduated from TSU and U of H. And Turner was actually doing work at the Learning Library Center at TSU. They actually did all the work. And our own Roger Pombro he flipped the switch on that project. That's the first library that we have built at Texas Southern University since 1957. Okay, So we're very proud of that library that Turner did. And they were doing it at the same time that they were building the Fertitta Center. Can you believe that? You know, that's the University of Houston's basketball gym. So, you know, that's the old Hawthornes, right? They redid the old Hawthornes. It's now the Fertitta Center. And U of H is playing great basketball. I won't get into any more of that. But we're very proud of that and proud of work that Turner has done. They're one of the largest builders of big buildings in the country. And you can look at some of the 1, 2, and 3. Here's some of the projects that they have upcoming. So please make note. There's contact information. Scroll the next slide. Yeah, you see 2 and 3, the various steps. Andrew Reno, Chris Compton, Chandra Miller, Trayvon Heath. All of those are great folks to work with. So please stay in tune with Turner. Next. Harris County, Harris County has an MWBE program. It was implemented probably, I guess, about a year ago, just about a year ago, maybe a little bit less. But one of the great proponents of the Harris County MWBE program and of minority firms doing work in Harris County, period, and in particular in Precinct 1 is County Commissioner Precinct 1, Rodney Ellis. He does a fabulous job. He's always there. He's been to NAMAC meetings. So he's always out. He's pushing, he's promoting, certainly Harris County, but pushing other folks, to raise their level, whether it be Metro or the Port. So outstanding work. But here's some of the work in his area, in his precinct, in flat work and landscaping and electrical. So those guys who are involved in that, get back with me, because there's people that you need to meet in Harris County as it relates to their construction program and projects. Next. Metro. Man, we can't say enough about Metro and the great staff, Otis Johnson, Sharonda Murray, Alex Sandoval. The whole team, the certifications, SBE, Small Business Enterprise, that you need to be right now to do business with Metro. But here's a list of the contracting opportunities. Their bonfire, next. And again, here the opportunities, I think these are clickable. So under the action column on the far right, you can click those and it'll give you more details on each individual project. You can see from MLK at Griggs, a sculpture relocation, to a healthcare benefits broker. I know a guy, I just spoke to a guy who does that, and I know certainly he'd be interested in that. Signals and the like. So please keep up with Metro. Alex, Sharonda, again, their team does an outstanding job in trying to make sure that you get certified, certainly, but that we bid these projects. It's very important, and they have goals to meet. So we'll have Alex and them. You'll see them. In fact, they'll all be hopefully at our next breakfast on March 22nd. Next slide. That's their calendar, right? So, we started, their fiscal year started around the 1st of October. So those are the calendar events. Some of those, of course, have already passed, but it kind of gives you all the way out through September 30th, their upcoming events, and I would make note of that. I always continue to keep that calendar open so that you'll be able to see the upcoming events and certainly the opportunities that Metro brings. Next slide. Okay, when we talk about, and I think Roger and a couple of the guys mentioned Skanska. Skanska is also one of our top GCs in the area. I always think about, and Roger and I didn't talk about this, but Skanska, most of you know, prior to COVID, we used to have our events at Houston Community College on the West Loop. So, that's a night school. So Skanska actually built a garage there. It's a 3-story garage. It's a beautiful garage. And the thing that I always talk about is Roger, who you heard from earlier, actually did all the electrical in that garage. I mean, that was over $1 million package. And we're so surprised, proud of the work that Roger did in that garage for Skanska, but certainly for Skanska for making those opportunities available. They're doing a lot of major projects, and here's one upcoming as we talk about Harris County and all the work that Harris County is the 3rd largest county in the United States. And when we talk about the diversity of work among all the different precincts, it's unbelievable. And one of the things is Harris County Toll Road. I was just talking to a couple of folks just the other evening about the work that they're doing on the toll road. So in a couple of months, we're going to have Harris County, the entire many of the agencies or departments of Harris County will be there, including the toll road. So guys, please keep up with the work that Skanska is going to be doing on this project. We say kickoff 21, 22, so that's still upcoming. So keep following and tracking that project, as well as some other things that Skanska will be doing. We should have them here up soon. Next. And that was, and you might have seen, if you go back to the next slide, the past slide. So that's an old slide. The person of contact is Jennifer McGilvery. Asmir is Besdick. And of course, they have a new team. We'll be getting those folks out and having them come out. Tiffany is no longer with them, as I see here, but she's gone on to some other greater things. So, but we'll be in touch and keeping you in touch with Skanska. Highlighting small business is another section that we like to talk about. Today, that was led by the group that you just saw. I mean, the 4 contractors, suppliers. I think it couldn't have gotten any better. But Impact Strategic Consulting is another such firm, but doing a lot of impact marketing and planning, working with FEMA and many other major projects to do resiliency and mitigation type work, recovery work in the case of disasters, and on and on. They've even been instrumental with some of the work that we've done at the ION. So we think a lot of Impact Strategic Consulting. Next. Of course, East Houston Hospital Clinics. They offer so many different services in the community. They actually have 3 hospitals. Ruben Shaw, as you see here, is the Chief Executive Officer. There's his phone number and certainly his email. He's always looking to hear from you. They're reaching out and doing a lot of work in the community, especially COVID, where there was testing, and I think now they're administering the vaccines, but breast cancer work, breast cancer awareness, and on and on. They have a cadre of doctors and specialist physicians that bring high-end service to the community. So we thank Ruben and the great work they're doing at East Houston Hospital Clinics. Next. 24/7, by the way. All right, National Urban Construction, NUC Services, commercial and residential, restoration and cleanup. You know, I can remember when we first got into COVID, a lot of work that they did out at Prairie View and certainly at University of Houston to kind of get those classrooms ready for the students, for the teachers and staff to come back. I mean, they did a lot of environmental spray and keeping all those buildings and rooms safe and clean. And of course, they do a lot of interior build out. So they did a lot of work with the University of Houston off-campus housing. Right now, there's some major projects, housing projects that we're doing in the MLK Griggs area near the Houston Business Development, Inc. We're really proud of the work that they're doing there. And of course, it's a company on the rise. We've got to make sure we keep up with national urban construction. Next. Navarro Insurance Group. Navarro is is a great partner. It's a great, Sam Pineda is on the board of NAMAC, and just been a great partner. I've known Sam for many years, and of course him and Dimitri with Navarro Insurance has always offered sound insurance and partnership on the healthcare side. And you see some of the things that they offer from medical to life, disability, dental, vision, long-term voluntary products. Sam has been, as has Roger, a mentor to a number of minority firms, but certainly offering those firms as well a great product from an insurance standpoint. Next. Wow, Maribel Rodriguez, Sunshine Personnel Solutions, another proud board member of NAMAC again, but as well doing great work on the staffing side. We're always looking for people that can perform, laborers that can perform. And so Maribel has done all staffing when it comes to all areas, in particular, as noted, office professionals, industrial, maintenance, hospitality, transportation. So, I mean, she's got a very thorough, I was out there looking at how she interviews and the kinds of people she brings on, and they're first-class folks. So down at the bottom, you see all of her information, her contact information, but just a great firm, and we thank Maribel for the great work that she's been doing in the community. Next. Wow, NAMAC. We've talked enough about NAMAC. No, we can never talk enough about NAMAC. You see the contact. This is Abel Garcia, who you've talked to, and Abel will be in here in just a minute as we close out. But that's Abel's cell number. I hope that's all right, Abel. But so listen, guys, we talked about it. He's got a major event coming up on March 10th. I'm sure, and he's gonna come back in here to tell us he's got tables and what have you. But get in touch with him. If you're thinking about joining, if you're thinking about participating, please make sure that we visit with Abel. Labor Now, there's their capability statement. They do a lot of emergency work, and I've seen them in Louisiana, doing some of the past storms we've had of recent note. Certainly in the Houston area, but when it comes to disaster relief and staffing, they get after it. I'm very proud of the work that Labor Now has been doing these past few years. So if you ever need support from an emergency standpoint, emergency preparedness is one of the big events that we have coming up in June. That's the start of hurricane season. So we're going to certainly feature Labor Now at that point and other points. So we thank the great work that Labor Now is doing. Next. Educational and inspirational always comes in large part from the Red Cross. They've given us consulting on COVID, of course, and certainly in emergency preparedness, how to prepare for a hurricane or disaster in general. So we thank the Red Cross for all of their great information and updates, periodic updates on what we need to do to keep ourselves safe in these challenging times. Thank you, Red Cross. Guys, we always like to recognize at the end our supporters, our contributors, our sponsors, our strategic partners. And of course, there was a list of them by name. Here's some of their logos and names, of course. There's so many to go over. We thank them all. We thank all of you for everything that you do, because without you, there could be no us. There could be no Greater Houston Business Procurement Forum. We rely on the opportunities, as you see here at the end, the University of Houston. You heard both Roger and Abel mention University of Houston and the things they're doing, the airport systems, the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, the Texas Comptroller, who's going to be helping to head up our meeting on March 22nd as we bring on all those state agencies and institutions. Well, we got to get HUB certified. So that comes from the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts and HUB Certification Office in Austin. We're going to have that group here. They're helping me a lot to help head up and make sure that we have the proper agencies, the right agencies, the agencies that have real opportunities will be here on March 22nd. You'll hear more from us on that. And now, as we're closing, I'd like to welcome Abel back to the table. Abel, I know, first of all, sir, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for bringing the great contractors, and this was a great event, and different, and we got to do this again. We must do this again. Anything that you want to say in closing? I know we got the event tonight, we got March 10th. Any closing remarks, please?
Well, Milton, first of all, thank you very much for giving us that platform that we hopefully have earned, and that you've been so good to everybody in construction. This is what Milton Thibodeau does. He opens doors. He opens doors to a lot of folks. I will tell you that NAMAC is really a place you need to come. We're friendly, we're helpful, we're ready to help you out. We started with 22 members 4 years ago. We're over 340 or 50. We have 30, I think, or 31 wonderful corporate partners. And the reason that happens is because we do everything that we do. We try to do it unmatched, not outstanding, not unmatched. We want to do it better than anybody else so that you can come back. I think our great corporate partner at Action Gypsum said prices are basically all the same. All we have to do is service. And service is a phenomenal thing. And here with NAMAC, you can count on service. If you come and say, hey, I need some help, we'll invite you to this great facility, MCA, because you got to be in the place, right, to do some great things. Excellent. Thanks to Rick and Ricky Cortez. And so once you're here, listen, the first thing you get is me. I've been very blessed. I've written 6 books on how to market yourself, your business, and we have 3, 4 folks that are helping me now, okay? And what a board we've got. Got 4 women on our board, African Americans, Hispanics, Anglo-Saxons, Indo, some from Indo. It's everything. We're Houston, okay? And we want you to feel comfortable in coming. If you come tonight, you'll something special. There's energy in NAMAC, believe me. We work on enthusiasm. That's what makes us go. We have Mic Night, which means that bring plenty of business cards, and we're going to give you the microphone. We're going to give you about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Tell us who you are. Tell us what you do. Tell us what you're looking for. Tell us what you need, and we're there for you. It's a great event.
Man, I couldn't. Hey, he said it best. Abel, thank you for everything.
Well, thank you.
And just to echo your sentiments, thank MCA for providing office space, for providing this forum, giving us the wherewithal to stay afloat during COVID, and being a great partner too. I mean, as you see the guys today, MCA brings a quality of effort that you can open up. When we had McCarthy here, we said, okay, let's introduce them to MCA, one of our best. And that opens up doors for others to follow. So guys, please, as Abel said, join NAMAC, or at least look at it. Look at it. Come tonight.
Yes.
Certainly come on March 10th. Correct. And all. And Abel is always at our breakfast. So our March 22nd breakfast, you'll be hearing from. But I want to thank you for being with us. You out here, that listen, that hopefully this has been a forum that you've been able to gain something out of. We've had some great folks, and we really appreciate you attending. And again, don't forget, the next breakfast on March 22nd will be in person at the Ion. Again, March 22nd. It's a breakfast, so it's from 8 to 10:30. We got to have you there, and you'll be hearing from us. Abel, again, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right.
And thank our guys that are doing the show here at MCA.
Absolutely. Couldn't be any better, guys. Thank you, and thank you all for being with us today.